I will now give the floor to Witsø-Lund, and Lise is the national coordinator for next year in Denmark. As you know, Denmark will hold the presidency next year, so you will have a prominent role next year, and well, we will be happy to hear you present those.
Oh yeah, sure.
Thank you very much. I wonder if I could just say a few words about the year volunteering. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Because I think there are some very important characteristics about the volunteering in Denmark, and that is we like to refer to the democratic constitution in Denmark of 1849, which creates the foundation that every citizen is free to associate and thus to volunteer. So we think that's very important. We have this constitution and we like to refer to it. Then I also want to say that about 43% of the Danish population performs voluntary work. And I also want to say that the Danish welfare model is based on the principle that all citizens shall be guaranteed fundamental rights in case they encounter social problems such as unemployment, sickness, or dependency. So the public sector is the main responsible, but voluntary organizations very often play and contribute to the help, for example, of the socially vulnerable. But as it was said this morning, volunteering should not take over. And I think in Denmark we have a reference in our Social Services Act which lays down the conditions for the local authorities to work together with voluntary organizations. So I think we really try to we're really finding a good harmony there. Of course, the European Year Volunteering went on very well in Denmark. We did what we should. We created a lot of awareness raising, and we drew the attention to volunteers and to a new group of potential volunteers. Both the media, the national government and the local governments played a very important role in the agenda of 2011. And I think we may describe the year as a success. We had many events. We had the National Day of Volunteering, which was, I think we learned from the Netherlands and the UK. And it took place for the first time on the 30th of September, but I am sure we will repeat it. We also had the European Voluntary Year Tour, which came to Copenhagen in the middle of August. And even if it was in the middle of the summer, we found a lot of people joining the tour. So I believe I should now turn to what I'm very much involved in, the European Year for Active Aging and Solidarity Between Generations. As you will know, you've heard it many times, the Council and the European Parliament has decided to designate 2012 the European Year for Active Aging and Solidarity Between Generations. We find it a very important thing because we need to look at an aging generation which is not at all the same as it was just 10 or 20 years ago. And during the year, a number of activities will be carried out in all the member states based on the decision. Activities should focus on older people's active participation in society, for instance through voluntary work, older people's active participation on the labor market, promotion of healthy aging and the possibility to live an independent life, and strengthen solidarity between generations and create a society for all ages. The year will be inaugurated in the beginning of the Danish presidency, and we are preparing and are very, very busy preparing an opening conference together with the EU Commission. The conference will take place on the 18th and 19th of January, so that's very soon. We will focus on the demographic development, an issue we all know. So we will start from there and look ahead and look at what it takes to stay active in all the respects just mentioned. And we want to look at it from an innovative angle. We want the conference to look ahead, to find visions for the next 20 years of aging, health and employment policies. We, of course, asked ministers, commissioners, researchers, and practitioners to deal with these subjects at the conference. And we will ask each and every one of them to give 3 ideas to be achieved within their respective speciality or expertise for the future, and we will try to collect that as a token or a book for the future. We want to focus on participation and empowerment and on doing away with stereotypes. As it was said, I represent the Danish Ministry of Employment, so I wish to underline that in Denmark we already focus on older people and the labour market. We wish to organize the labour market and retirement schemes in a way to facilitate that older people stay longer on the labour market for their own sake, for society's sake, and for the young, which is an aspect of solidarity between generations. No excessive maintenance burdens on the young, use of older people's skills for the benefit of the young on the labour market, just to give a few examples. In Denmark, we want to look at workplaces and the layout of these workplaces in order to make it easier and more pleasant being and working there, to avoid wear and tear. And we want to look at job adaptations throughout life phases, to look at initiatives that facilitate maintenance of seniors on the labour market. We think that is a very important issue. So we wish to use the year as an occasion to put extra focus on the labour market in relation to seniors, a policy already embarked on in Denmark, but which will be taken further throughout the year. A retirement reform is being dealt with in the Danish Parliament right now. It will postpone the age of voluntary early retirement from 62 to 64, and it will increase retirement age from 65 to 67. I know this may be horrible for some of you, but that's the way it is. We are of the opinion that good expertise should not be expelled from the labour market. It will prove valuable when, after the crisis, so economists say, and we believe in it, we shall need more labour. But we will also look at methods to keep older people independent and able to manage their own life. We have several examples of how local authorities organize help so that they are better able to manage their own situation. Good health, exercise and sports is not the only way to keep fit. Many occupations, also outside the labour market, are valuable. So I now finally arrive at the link between the 2 years of volunteering and of active ageing, a link which was very much underlined in the decision on the European year. Older people and voluntary work. Voluntary work is important in Denmark and of course also among older people, and I like to give you just a few examples. We have a group of older people like Médecins Sans Frontières. We have older people without frontiers. They go to developing countries to help out on projects, something which was mostly done by young people before, but now older people do it as well. Older people as visiting friends, just good company for even older ones in nursing homes or in their own homes. Have a friend to dine with, a project which demonstrated that older people who are lonely, do not eat enough and thus get weak, that it may be helped by eating in good company. Persons accompanying older people to physicians, dentists and so on. Older people teaching other older people IT, beginners as well as advanced. And then exercise coaches within gymnastics and even going to older people's homes to coach them doing gymnastics in chairs. Relief in homes of demented persons and stand-in grandparents and so on and so forth. During the opening conference, we have a special session on volunteering. We are preparing to organize it as a fireplace discussion among older volunteers, and we look forward to that. We're planning a National Generations Day in 2012, and we are planning a competition to find Denmark's most elder-friendly town. We're very much looking forward to that. So generally, we're looking forward to the European year. We're looking forward to the opening conference, and we are very grateful to the Commission for the support they've given us. It has been fun for us to put a program for the opening conference together, and we hope participants, just like ourselves, we're not very modest, will like it just as much as we have done putting it together. So goodbye year volunteering, and hello year for active aging and solidarity between generations. We are confident that it will be a good year, a great experience, and an event from which participants will be able to learn from each other and take back home good examples. Thank you very much.
Thank you.